Not quite sure what the holdup is here right now. We do have a green flag on the race course. I believe we are awaiting the arrival of a radio man, radio personnel here for the U40, which would certainly indicate that no, they are not going to be a scratch. They're going to try and run. But we also won't wait too long. I believe the 9 is in the water and ready to go. Okay, we do have it official now. The 40 will not be coming out. Next, it will be the U9. The U9 with Corey Peabody will be the driver of Pinnacle Peak Consulting. The boat based out of Auburn, Washington, driven by Corey Peabody. Corey, 42 years of age, out of the Pacific Northwest. Here's a little piece of trivia for you. The teammate and driver of Corey Peabody driving the 8 is J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly is 42 years of age. So is Corey Peabody. They went to kindergarten, grade school, junior high, and high school together. They have been friends their entire life, and now they find themselves driving 2 of the fastest H1 unlimited hydroplanes on the planet. I mentioned during the test session that Corey Peabody has been driving in what we call Region 10. It is a geographic district of the American Powerboat Association. That's where I met Corey a number of years ago. He drove a little 1-liter hydroplane, boat number 5, the Fast Tracks, and the kid was something special. And we always talked about maybe getting the call and being able to step up here to the big boats. He got that call last year, drove for Rob Graham. And I got to step away from the microphone here for just one moment. I will be right back. Sincere apologies for having to step away there. I had a very dear friend show up unexpectedly. I didn't know. Corey Peabody on a clock, driving a 9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting. As I said, Corey, grade school classmate of J. Michael Kelly. Now they find themselves driving for Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Corey is on the clock. This is lap number 1. This boat, I mentioned it earlier this morning if you missed it, this boat was the winner here in 2018. Andrew Tate was behind the wheel. If you saw that final heat in 2018 between Andrew Tate and Jimmy Shane, you will never, ever forget it. It was that good. But now it's Corey Peabody. The boat is no longer white and fluorescent yellow and orange. It is black, it is silver, and it is still very, very fast. Top end of the race course, you see Corey slide out to about lane number 4. We'll get a first lap speed here for Corey Peabody, driving a 9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting. We got 1 in the books. It only takes 1 to qualify. We've got 1 qualifier already. That is his teammate. Turned the lap at 156.8 miles an hour. 156.8 miles an hour for Corey. As did teammate J. Michael Kelly. Corey Peabody getting an absolutely gorgeous boat ride up the backstretch. Water conditions here virtually perfect. Corey sets it up at the top end of the race course. Here comes Corey to put the second one in the books. Beautiful looking hydroplane. Getting an outstanding boat ride. Turned that lap at 157.844 miles an hour. 157. That puts him a tenth of a mile an hour behind teammate J. Michael Kelly. Has he got another tenth? Will we see our first 158 or maybe even a 159? Corey solid through the top end of the race course. Now watch his line through the corner. How far does he slide it out? He goes out about lane 2, maybe lane 2.5. He will come down. The checkered flag flies. It is Corey Peabody. Daryl and Vanessa Strong, your two boats are qualified for the 2021 HydroFest, the race for the Southern Cup. Corey Peabody puts it in the book. Could he top the 158 mark? 158.6 miles an hour. So he eclipses J. Michael Kelly. So how about that? Some good competition between the 8 and the 9, the two teammates. So, a couple very, very solid laps by two of our two boats that are owned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong, the brand new race team in H1 Unlimited Racing, Strong Racing. Daryl and Vanessa, as I mentioned, are out of the Tri-Cities. He was so excited to get down here. He and wife Vanessa came down here in the motorhome, and they stopped along the way. They did some sightseeing. We even ran into them on the way on our drive down here. It was kind of fun to see hydroplanes on the road traveling through Montana. But it's good to get them on the water, qualified. Boats look very, very solid. We're monitoring the radio to see if by chance the 40's going to come, but nope, it does not look. They're going to have to come after everyone else. So we will go down to the next boat on the ladder. Next up on our list is the U11, the J&Ds. We are not sure if they are going to come out. They had some issues after their test session. So we'll just have to wait and see. If it's not the 11 that comes next, it would be the U12. It'll be the J&Ds with it'll be the U12, the Graham Trucking with Andrew Tate. Well, race fans, after a little bit of confusion there and a very interesting discussion about the corral, which is the area the radio people are supposed to stand in when their boat is on the water, we've got things squared away right now. Jimmy Shane on the radio to Jeff Bernard. Jimmy Shane is in the newly defined corral up here. And up the backstretch, we have Jeff Bernard driving the U1, the Miss Home Street. A boat that Jimmy Shane knows all too well. A boat that Jeff Bernard knows very, very well. This boat raced on the 2019 circuit as the Oberto Super Salami. It was Jeff Bernard behind the wheel in Tri-Cities and Seattle. This boat, as I mentioned earlier, is extremely accomplished. 8 National High Points Championships, 3 Gold Cups. Home Street, Miss Home Street, the U1. For the 2021 season, about running at the black and gold color scheme of Goodman Real Estate, but the boat is officially Miss Home Street. The number is U1. It is the defending National High Points champion. Up the backstretch, Jeff Bernard. An absolutely gorgeous boat ride once again. As I said before, the water conditions are outstanding. Jeff, a very, very accomplished driver. He has driven literally every class of race boat you can imagine. We have 2 of our GPA Grand Prix America hydroplanes. The guys that are really loud with the big blown high cubic inch automotive engines. We have 2 of those boats in the pit area. Jeff Bernard will be coming out later in the day and testing one of those boats. As Bernard comes down, picks up a green flag. First one is in the books with the Miss Home Street. Perfect boat ride. $152.666. 152.666. Trust me, that boat has a lot more in it than just that. Jimmy's already up at the top end of the race course. Our race course is 2.5 miles around. And an interesting distinction for you fans that may not be aware of this, we have a 2.5 mile race course here. We also have a 2.5 mile course at Indianapolis, at the Indianapolis 500. That's a 2.5 mile track as well. But they measure that 2.5 miles in the groove. We'll get Jimmy across here and get his speed before we finish that short discussion. First lap was 152 and 666. $154.091. 154.091. So they measure the 2.5 miles at the Indianapolis 500 in the groove. So if a car stays in the groove and turns his lap at a given average speed, he is traveling actually 2.5 miles. Our race course out here is also 2.5 miles. However, we measure the 2.5 miles at the very top tip of each of the buoys. So 2.5 miles on the buoy row. Obviously, you can't run into the buoys, so Jeff Bernard driving more than 2.5 miles. Bernard's got it in the books. 3 up, 3 down, the U1 Miss Home Street. So when we give his speed, we don't know exactly what he averaged, but we do know it would be something in excess of whatever we stated because he went further than 2.5 miles. It was his fastest of the 3 laps, 154.339. 154.339 miles an hour for Jeff Bernard in the Miss Home Street, the U1. So we've had 3 boats come out on the race course so far. We've had 3 boats successfully qualify for the 2021 Race for the Southern Cup, the Lake Guntersville Hydrofest in our H1 Unlimited class. Recapping our qualifying of those 3 boats, our fast. So we have another boat on the water for a qualification attempt here. I am told it is the U40. The Beacon Plumbing, Dave Vilwalk. You just heard Jeff Ayler talking about 67-year-old Dave Vilwalk, the winningest driver in the history of H1 Unlimited. He's got 67 victories. Love to get another one today. Mr. Duncan, how are you?
I'm awesome.
Good to have you here. Kirk Duncan from the Hydro News here today. I caught him with a mouthful and shook his hand and said hello and stuck the mic in front of him. Up the backstretch, slowly. Again, remember, he gets 3 laps if he wants all 3, doesn't have to. But he's got 3 laps. He will come down. There is a green flag waiting for him. That means he is good to go, and he'll start his first lap. Then he'll get another green. That means he can start the second lap. Then he'll get a white one which says start the final lap. 67 wins, 67 years old. Been away from the seat for 6 years, but here he comes, Dave Vilwalk. Driving a 40, the Beacon Plumbing. Well, for those of you who just watched him roll down into that lower corner, you saw that right side sponson pick up. He had some air underneath it. That means he's really got it up and running, but it's also right on the ragged edge. Dave Vilwalk, we always said for many, many years he was the best flyer in an unlimited hydroplane that we had ever seen. One of the most knowledgeable people in the sport of boat racing. I'm not going to say hydroplane racing because he can set up anytime, anywhere, for any water. Jeff Ayler, this guy, it's more than just hydroplanes. He can set up your car.
Exactly, Brad. And Dave comes off the corner in this massive unlimited hydroplane, 28-foot length, 14-foot wide, 6,700 pounds of racing vessel right in front of you, and we'll get a lap time.
We'll get a first lap speed here. Dave Vilwalk in the 40, the Beacon Plumbing. All the work in the off-season. He's really light on that right sponson one more time. We'll get a speed here on lap 1. That'll wake up everybody on the beach. 159 miles an hour. There's your fast lap of the day so far, and that's his first one. What? Correction, we got a wrong number. 154. That's a minor detail. It's only 5 off. Coming out to put 2 in the books. We'll be very careful about the speed this time. We got some misinformation. Dave gets a white flag that time. He will start his 3rd lap. Boy, he is just picking up the right side. He is really light getting into that lower corner. Man. Boat is really moving. Second lap, we think this is official 155, 155 miles an hour. He woke up everybody in Guntersville when we announced that 159. But it turned out to be an error. It was a 154. We'll get this one. Lap number 3. Checkered flag waits. Dave Vilwalk. A lot of air underneath that U40. Jeff Ayler, we talked for years that this guy can fly a hydroplane, and he apparently hasn't lost that knack.
I've watched these since 1971. First time out since we were canceled last year, unfortunately, through the pandemic, and he's back. Dynamite driving, way to climb, and I hope we have some still photographers down there in turn 1. Should be in some incredible shots. That right sponson hanging just off the water. Beautiful boat ride. It's getting serious.
We are getting serious. Jeff Ayler, let's see what we've got for a speed. The third lap was indeed the fastest, 156.475. 156.475. Well, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, bring me the sheet. I'm guessing it's got something written on the side of it. Brad? Hey, Brad? Say your producer, man. We're tired of it. We're tired of talking.
Course for a qualification attempt here is the U11, the J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen behind the wheel. Jamie came out this morning and ran some laps, and then unfortunately the boat went down toward the lower end of the race course, lost power, and had to get towed back. There were some questions about maybe some other issues. Jamie's going very slowly down the front straightaway.
Okay. All right. Oh, he's over there? Oh, I wanted to make him look bad.
Keeping an eye on him, he may be heading it right back home.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1.
Our opening ceremonies. Then at 1:30, we're going to have our Grand Prix America testing. I mentioned earlier we have 2 Grand Prix hydroplanes here. They are going to come out on the water and test. That will happen at 1:30. Also at 1:30, at the start-finish line, right behind the start-finish line, you will see a very, very large red and white tent. We will have an autograph session for the Powerboat National Series. Autograph session at 1:30 until 2:30. It will be at the start-finish line. I am going to step away from the mic for just one moment. I'll be right back with Corey Peabody and the United.
Some members of the Whole Stage, our local community theater, are going to be here with us today performing a few songs
This is very important.
Speed for Corey Peabody on his second lap here was, or his first lap was 156.260. Sorry, I had to step away there for just a moment. Was going through the schedule here for the rest of the day. I'm going to finish that conversation here very quickly, and I will be right back with lap 2 for Corey Peabody. Two laps in the books for Corey Peabody. We'll get a speed here on lap number 2. First one was 156. This one stepped it up just a little bit. He's at 157.370. 157.3. Fast lap was lap 3 in the first session at 158. As he got a little bit more. Again, this boat was the U9, driven by Andrew Tate in 2018. He was the Southern Cup champion in 2018. And I know you're tired of hearing me say it, but it was winning the final heat, the greatest final heat of H1 Unlimited racing history. Here comes Corey, 42 years old, out of Kent, Washington. Living a dream, driving a 9 for Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Pinnacle Peak Consulting, Corey Peabody. Monitoring here, getting his third lap.
Heavy Dawn, is that you?
Faster than the other two, but only by a tick. This time, 157. 157.629. So his fast lap remains lap 3 from his first time out, 158.623. Corey Peabody, mighty solid driving that 9 Pinnacle Peak. At the 2021 Guntersville Hydrofest, the race for the Southern Cup. Speaking of H1 Unlimiteds, we've got him on the water. Coming down the front straightaway here. It is Chuck Bernard driving the line. The best home straight. Jeff's definitely got a little bit more air under the boat this time. Looking for a little bit faster speed. We'll check Jeff's time from the first session. He had a fast lap of 154.3. He will be looking to improve upon that. It is Chuck Bernard out of Covington, Washington. He and wife Christabel and the kids are all here enjoying some Southern hospitality here in Guntersville, Alabama, in an absolutely gorgeous setting. Top end of the race course. Lane he wants to come out to. He's going out to about lane number 3, maybe 2.5, 3. He can use any part of the race course he wants when he's qualifying. He's got it wound up pretty good, walking back and forth just a little bit. He's got it underneath the boat. Outside, right spots him back and forth. Every time he taps the water, he loses a little bit of speed. He's looking to improve on a 154 that he did earlier. He's not going to get it done with that one. A first lap speed of 150.398, so 150 miles an hour for Chuck Bernard in that one. Still trying to improve on that 154. Jeff got that lap at 151 miles an hour. If you wonder how capable this particular hull is, it is tied for Bill Muncie's Atlas Van Lines Blue Blaster as the 4th winningest hull of all time. 24 race wins, as I said earlier, including 3 Gold Cups and 8 National High Points Championships. Like so many of our drivers here in the unlimited class, Jeff got started when he was very young, started racing boats at age 9. His first unlimited ride was at the 2005 Seattle Seafair. He drove for Fred Leland in the United Eye. Chuck Bernard, lap 3 in the books. Jeff was able to eke out there on lap number 3. He jumped that one up almost 5 miles an hour to 156.052. He eclipsed his previous hot lap of 154.339. So a very good run there for Jeff Bernard on his third lap of qualifying here in the second go-around. Just checking the ladder to see if that moved him up. It did not. He improved a couple of miles an hour, but he's at 156.0. Dave Villwalk is at 156.4, so Dave is just a tick ahead of him in a 40, the Beacon Plumbing. But those folks are very closely matched. And we've said this in the off-season and coming down here getting ready for this race for the Southern Cup. Our H1 Unlimited field is very, very closely grouped and very, very competitive. This is anybody's race. You heard Jeff Ayler say a little bit earlier, he's got 4. Okay, Dave Villwalk has found his way out on the race course. You may have seen him come away from the dock. He went up the backstretch about 2/3, 3/4 of the way up there, shut the boat down. He was requested to do that by the officials because there was a hazard on the race course. We had some moving parts on the race course at that particular time, and just to make sure everything is 100% safe, they told Dave to knock it down. He shut the boat down. They gave him a green flag on the race course, which flies now. He fired it back up, and Dave Villwalk is on the clock here for his second run in the qualification session here. Dave is our 3rd fastest qualifier so far, but he's getting a nice boat ride up the backstretch, running into a little bit of a breeze that was more than he did earlier in the day. And if you were here for his first run, you saw Dave pick up that right side sponson on the front straightaway. We'll see what his boat ride looks like this time. Dave is a master of boat setup. He's going to come down and put his first lap in the books right here. Dave Villwalk driving a U40, the Beacon Plumbing for Kelly and Sharon Stockland. Look at him pick the right sponson. It's barely touching the water. That is flying an unlimited hydroplane. You can't get a boat ride much better than that. He is right on the edge. So 154.4 for Dave Villwalk on his first of 3 times around the race course here. Dave's up at the top end of the race course already. Now you see that big wall of water come off the left side trailing edge. The sponson there with the skid fin hangs down in the water. Dave lets it slide out a little bit longer. That will allow him to carry more speed through the corner, but it also means he's got to travel a bigger course. Will it work in his favor as he walks it back and forth? Dave Villwalk driving a 40, the Beacon Plumbing. He is zipping down into that first turn. We'll have a speed here on lap 2 momentarily. It is a 156.728. That is an improvement over his speed in the first session. Now he can really leg it out here and see if he can lay down one more hot lap. halfway up the backstretch. Dave's got this boat set up beautifully right now. Top end of the race course, entrance pin. Big wall of water off that skid fin. There's the apex buoy. That's halfway through the corner. Dave goes out wide again this time. He can use any part of the race course he wants. Now, if you're on the front straightaway, look underneath that boat. You can see all that air underneath that hydroplane. That means he's got it up and really running. And he just picks up the right side of that boat and flies it across start-finish line. So he turned it at 157.844 miles an hour. 157.844 miles an hour. I believe that will make him now our second fastest qualifier. Fast time of the day so far belongs to Corey Peabody in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting of 158. So a good run for Dave Villwalk there, 157.8 miles per hour.
Good weekend. Great weekend. You need me?
Okay, out on the race course right now, we have the bright red trimmed in black and silver, the U-12, the Graham Trucking hydroplane, driven by Andrew Tate out of Walled Lake, Michigan. Andrew Tate knows what it takes to win here on Lake Guntersville, being victorious here in a different boat in 2018. Walking it back and forth on the sponsons as he runs hard down and into the lower corner. All right, Andrew getting a nice run up the backstretch. That boat, you will remember it out here in 2019. Second place finish here on Lake Guntersville with J. Michael Kelly behind the wheel. Kelly took a third in the 2018 race for the Southern Cup. Kelly looks to move up this time and get the win. He got a third place in 2018, a second place in 2019. He will look for a first place here in 2021, but right now it is all about Andrew Tate driving Kelly's former boat, the 12. It is the Graham Trucking. A lot of work done on that boat during the off season. Again, walking it across the water. Andrew can fly the boat as good as anybody. Turn that lap at 153.641. 153.641. Reminding everybody that is an average speed on the lap. It's based on the amount of elapsed time it takes him to go and travel 2.5 miles. But he's actually traveling further than 2.5 miles because we measure that 2.5 miles at the top of the buoy row. But a solid time for Andrew Tate. His fast lap earlier in the day, I don't have it in front of me from his test session, but this is his first qualifying run. So he is now officially qualified here for the 2021 Guntersville Lake Hydro Fest, the race for the Southern Cup. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, a fourth-generation boat racer out of Michigan. Turned that lap at 154.7 miles an hour. Andrew Tate holds the distinction of being the only unlimited hydroplane driver to have his name on the American Powerboat Association Gold Cup, along along with that of his father. Mark Tate claimed a couple of gold cups in the 90s. Andrew claimed his in 2018. The only father-son duo to have done it. This is a very accomplished driver. He can handle his race boat, and he just loves to do so. Nice corner at the top end for Andrew. Checkered flag flies. We'll see if that corner will save him a little bit of time. I was looking for his test session time. Want to thank the H1 officials who heard me say that, came down with a piece of paper and a 156 that he did in testing, but that does not count for qualifying. So his third lap on this qualification attempt was 156.431. So that is his fastest of the 3 laps. My assistant will pull out her abacus, and she will start looking at all those numbers and decide who's on the top of the list and who's second and who's third. But I think our Corey Peabody is still sitting atop the qualifier. From the dock, I am not sure we are going to see the 440, but we're definitely going to see the 9, the 8, and the 12. Haven't seen a whole lot of movement over there yet. They don't have to come out at 6 minutes. They can. We got one boat coming up and away. I'm being told the U8 with J. Michael Kelly and the U9 away from the dock with Corey Peabody. So we'll bring him across. Five minutes until the start. We have a green flag on the race course, 4 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. It's Heat 1A of the 2021 Lake Guntersville Hydro Fest, the race for the Southern Cup. Let's go hydroplane racing. It is about time. We've waited 21 months to do this. Let's hope we get a good one. Looks like J. Michael Kelly, if that's got the white cowling on it, it's certainly one of the Darrell Strong boats that is up at the top end of the race course. It looks like that's Corey Peabody coming up behind him at the 3/4 mark of the backstretch. J. Michael Kelly, our second fastest qualifier. Look at the water conditions out here. Everything is perfect. There is a very much a silence right here at Lake Guntersville as JMK flies across start-finish line here. Talked to this young man last night. All he wants to do is drive. All he wants to do is race. He said he probably wouldn't sleep much last night. Like all of us, he is excited to see this happen. Here comes his teammate. Here comes his grade school classmate. Here comes his good buddy. Also the top qualifier, Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak Consulting, the U9. And at the top end of the race course, our third boat. Apparently we are not going to see the 440. The top end of the race course. It is the U12, the Graham Trucking, Andrew Tate. I got a nickel. Jeff Ayler says I make a mistake on that, and I put J. Michael Kelly in that 12. It's just been too many years.
That's going to be tough to get used to, Brad, this year. JMK in the number 8, Miss Tri-Cities. Corey Peabody, top qualifier in the Pinnacle Peak Consulting. Here's Andrew Tate, dominant red with the silver and black, the U12 Graham Trucking. Brad, it's the race before the race. Your lane is not assigned to you before the start. This is the milling period. This is where it gets interesting.
This is where it gets very interesting, and a lot can happen here. Like Jeff said, this is the race before the race. Your lanes are not assigned. So you're going to come and fight for that lane as you see our Two boats go down to the lower end of the race course. Tate is on the inside of J. Michael Kelly at the lower end. Looks like Kelly went around him. Before J. Michael Kelly could move to the left in front of Andrew Tate, he would have to have 7 boat lengths. He certainly got that now if he wanted to move. But again, we're still very early. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the start. 2:30, now 2:25. J. Michael Kelly, you see him slow down up the backstretch now. And Andrew Tate has yet to put his foot in the 12, the Graham Trucking. He's just been slowly going around the race course as Corey Peabody comes off the bottom end of the race course here, and he's running a little more with a little more authority up the backstretch. It's Corey Peabody, J. Michael Kelly, and Andrew Tate coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the start. Heat 1A, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. There you see Andrew Tate cutting the race course from the back to the front. I mentioned that was a legal maneuver. He did it at the proper place on the race course, and there goes J. Michael Kelly across the race course, and he can do that. He can cut from the front stretch to the back when he is down at the lower end of the race course. That was legal. Now watch Tate as we watch the clock with 1:30 until the start. I think Andrew's going to go all the way down now with 1:30 on this 2.5-mile course. I like where Andrew Tate sits right now. He might find himself on the inside, but I'll tell you what, J. Michael Kelly is a master at getting lane 1. He's going to come off the top end of the course behind everybody. Will he cut the course and try and jump to the inside? It's got 1:10. I don't think he's going to have to go around. I think he was too early to jump over and try and get in front of Andrew. So, coming out of the bottom end of the race course, it's going to be Andrew Tate there first. We're inside 1 minute, 55 until the start. Heat 1A, presented for the Lake Guntersville Hydrofest by the Redstone Federal Credit Union. 45 seconds until the start. It looks like it's going to be Tate in 1, Peabody in 2, and J. Michael Kelly on the outside as they'll go up to the top end of the race course. Now, it's those timing marks that they really haven't had a lot of time to experiment with here. But the idea is to take a race boat at 180 miles an hour, put it right here on the start-finish line, wide open when the clock strikes 0. And that's going to happen in 18 seconds. It's about a 16-second run off of the top end of the race course. And right now we are at 11 seconds. Whatever the timing is, they're going to come down here together because we are inside 8. In fact, we are inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And finally, we are racing as Corey Peabody takes him across start-finish line. 21 months in waiting, and Corey Peabody leads him across down to the lower end of the race course. He's got J. Michael Kelly with him on the outside. Where Tate's right there on the inside in the Graham Trucking. So off the corner down there, it is Corey Peabody in the middle, and on his left and on the inside is Andrew Tate on the outside. You cannot see him. It is J. Michael Kelly. The start was good. Everybody was legal at the start. A real strong run up the backstairs. Oh, look at Tate start to gobble him up a little bit on the inside. Tater on. You haven't seen Kelly. He's right there with him. Top end of the race course, Corey Peabody. Got to leave room in there for Andrew Tate. He certainly does. Plenty of lane space. Kelly on the outside. We're going to go 3 times around here. And it is Corey Peabody from lane number 2 with the lead. And second place will go to J. Michael Kelly at the end of 1. Tate is in 3rd with the lane position on the inside. Corey Peabody driving that 9, driving it like a rocket. He likes this boat. He says he's getting more and more comfortable every day. Oh, look at the race for second place down there. JMK on the outside. You can see the skid fin wall. Tater on the inside. But it's still Corey Peabody coming smartly down the backstretch. He is showing you that there is no question that top qualifying speed was legit. And he's 3/4 of the way up the backstretch right now. Look at the race for second place. J. Michael Kelly on the outside. JMK is driving an awfully big race course out there in lane number 3. And now the white flag will be displayed. The drivers will come down. That white flag tells them they got 1 lap to go. Tate right on the buoy row. Tate was right on the buoy. I don't know if he hit it, but he did go in. Where is Andrew Tate? Oh, there he is. He hooked to the inside of the race course. We'll get back to Andrew Tate. Our leader is Corey Peabody. Second place, his teammate, J. Michael Kelly. That is From my perspective, that is not going to be an issue with Corey Peabody not giving Andrew Tate enough room up there. I think there was plenty of lane space in there. I think Andrew just got a little tight to the buoy row, maybe fell in a hole and hooked it. I was about to say I thought J. Michael Kelly might sit back and let this one go, pick up the 300 second place points, but JMK is starting to move smartly up the backstretch. He's in the rooster tail right now of his buddy Corey Peabody. Corey Peabody shocking everybody here with a dominant run in our Heat 1A presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. He's just got to come off the top end of the race course and come down and pick up a checkered flag. It flies for him. Corey Peabody driving a 9. Wow. Pinnacle Peak Consulting Group comes in first. J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities, the U8, will come home in second place. Wow. They are telling the 12 and Andrew Tate to run an extra lap. That does not necessarily mean there is a penalty. We will clear that with the officials. Sometimes, if there is an infraction, he will have to run another lap. Sometimes they're not sure if there was an infraction, so they will review the tape and see what it is. But if it turns out that he needed to run an extra lap, they will have put one in the books. Inside 6 minutes, Dave Villwalk into Beacon Plumbing. Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate presents Ms. Home Street. Jamie Nielsen, J&D Hydraulics out of Auburn, Washington. Just as I did with Covington, I make a comment that everybody must know where Auburn, Washington is, and probably most of you don't. Just a little bit south of the city of Seattle, on the west side of the mountains, by SeaTac Airport, not too far. It was my residence up until last September when I moved over to the east side of the state. Heat 1B. 5 minutes and 15 seconds. 5:15 to the start. Heat 1B, Redstone Federal Credit Union. We got boats on the water. We got boats coming our way. Five minutes to the start of Heat 1B. So we'll pick them out of the sun as they come our way. Absolutely gorgeous conditions here on Lake Guntersville. The cloud cover filters out a little bit of the sun and the heat every once in a while. The water conditions are great. Top end of the race course, Jamie Nielsen driving the 11. Chartreuse and Royal Blue, J&Ds. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. 4:10 is Jamie Nielsen. They struggled here early in the morning. But they've got the boat up and running now, and it's looking pretty good. There is Jeff Bernard driving the Goodman Real Estate. Presents the Miss Home Street to U1. Jeff Bernard out of the Pacific Northwest, looking only 4 now. Looking for Dave Villwalk in the 40 at the 3:45 mark. Monitor the radio here. See if we can find. We are missing Dave Villwalk. Not hearing anything official right now at the 3 minute and 20-second mark as Jamie Nielsen cuts the race course. Jeff going to do the same? Yes, he is. Jeff's going to do the same maneuver as Jamie. Coming up on 3 minutes. seconds until the start. 3 minutes. Boy, what a development this would be, Jeff Ayler, if all this anticipation to get Dave Hillwalk back in the seat and get him out racing. What a development if he did not show here for his first heat of racing.
Let's hope they can fix the problem if there is one at the dock of the U40 Beacon Plumbing. Dave Hillwalk, the all-time winningest driver in the sport of H1 Unlimited hydroplane racing. 67 victories, making his comeback after a 7-year absence. We hope he can make it, and Brad, he has to be on the course in a planing attitude prior to 1 minute.
And it is right now 2:30 until the start, so he's got about $1.20 to get that boat up on a plane, as Jeff said. He can't be plowing water, and it is a hefty penalty if he joins the race course after the 1 minute mark. So we'll watch that, and he's got about a minute 10 to make it out on the race course. Meanwhile, our two boats that are in the heat are at the top end of the course. Jeff Bernard is the first boat up there. Watch for Jeff to sit it right in lane number 1. I like where he sits right now. I think he can come all the way down and go all the way down to the lower corner. As we are now inside 2 minutes, we are at 1:50 until the start. Jeff actually would have an opportunity down here, I think, to cut the course if he wanted to. It's however he wants to play it. I think he's got plenty of time if he wanted to hit the throttle here and maybe run hard down and up the backstretch, do a lap in 1:30, don't know. But Jamie Nielsen might want to do something fancy here and maybe cut the race course at $1.25 before the start, but it looks like both of them are going to go all the way down. Jeff Ayler, 20 seconds, still no Dave Hillwalk.
Looks like Hillwalk will be a no-show here in Unlimited 1B, and Brad, right now I expect both drivers to be well behaved. It appears Jeff Bernard will be in lane 1, Jamie Nielsen in 2. That's good news for the J&D's team after struggles this morning. They'll make 1B. Brad, we're a minute away.
1 minute right there, and Dave Hillwalk is not on the water, so the Beacon Plumbing to U40 is going to be a no-show. Jeff Bernard halfway up the backstretch, inside 1 minute, make it 50 seconds until the start of our Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. We're going to have a small field here, only a couple of boats, a little bit of a match race, but they can still hook it up and run side by side. Jamie Nielsen wants to get out there and measure his boat a bit. And what they mean by that is he wants to go out and run alongside Jeff Bernard, see what he's got. This is only the second or third time the boat has really run. Today was the first time the boat got in the water, and they started to put things together to see what they had. Now it's the first time they can actually go out and run the boat in competition. They're coming off the top end of the race course with 12 seconds until the start, making 10, 9, 8 as they come to the start. Can't cross the start-finish line before the clock strikes 0. We're inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark, and it looks like a legal start to me, and they're dead even as they cross the start-finish line. Jamie Nielsen and Jeff Bernard hit the line exactly together with a lot of boat speed. It is a good start. Down to the lower end of the race course. Watch for Bernard on the inside. Got a nice lane on the inside. Got a nice corner, but you can see that skid fin on the outside. Jamie Nielsen is right there. Up the backstretch, Bernard now starts to open it up a little bit, but just a little bit. He's got about 3, maybe 4 boat lengths up the backstretch. Jamie Nielsen's hanging with him, Jeff Ayler.
Bradley work into turn number 2. Bernard has the advantage on the inside, shorter way around, and Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. Nielsen back in second, and J&D's about 6 boat lengths. Them off the turn. Bernard in front.
Bernard is in front, swings it out to about lane number 2. Jamie slides out to about lane 3, maybe 3.5. Coming down still very close together. Good racing here in our Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. Now it's Jeff Bernard out by a full rooster tail. As they go down toward the lower end of the race course here on lap number 2, and it is 2 of 3 times around this 2.5-mile race course. Bernard on the inside, Nielsen on the outside. Nielsen still hanging back there, staying within the rooster tail, and Jeff Bernard at least through the corner when there's that big wall of water off the skin fin. But now you see Jeff Bernard start to move it out. He's got a full rooster tail now. He's got clean sailing. He's also got Jimmy Shane up here who's talking to him on the radio, and he's going to tell Jeff where the good water is. Jeff Ayler, I think I can tell him where the good water is. This water right now is beautiful.
Beautiful water here in Unlimited 1B. You see Jeff Bernard extending the lead, making about 1 rooster tail. as they'll come down to get the white flag. 2 in the books and 1 to go. And right now, Brad, Bernard trying to keep the number 1 alive, get those 400 points, put it back on the trailer, look to tomorrow.
Absolutely. Jeff Bernard will come down, looks to his right, picks up a white flag, 1 to go. Driving to U1, Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. But I'm going to tell you what, Jeff Bernard has got to be happy, but Jamie Nielsen driving the 11, Scott and Shannon Rainey, with the way this day started, the way the test session went over in the Tri-Cities when they never got the boat in the water, they have got to be very, very pleased at the way their boat is running right now. It's a 300-point run right now for Jamie Nielsen in second place. He's going to sit back, he's going to take it easy, he's going to let Bernard go. Second place at 300 points is nothing to sneeze at, as they are at the top end of the race course on the third of 3 times around. The checkered flag is hanging here on start finish. Bernard negotiates the top end of the race course, goes out to about lane 2, maybe 2.5 or 3. He will come down. The checkered flag is waving. Jeff Bernard, winner of Heat 1B, presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union. 400 points for Jeff Bernard, but a nice run for Jamie Nielsen. He'll pick up 300 points, and they have got to be really pleased with that second place finish. I just high-fived one of their crew members. All he said to me was, baby steps. Well, they just took some good steps, Jeff. They've got to be really happy in that 11 camp right now.
Brad, you hit the nail on the head on that final time around for the 11, the J&Ds. 300 points for them right now with the struggles they had this morning. It's like $300,000. But 2 boats with heat wins here to begin the Southern Cup activity. Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak Consultant, winner of 1A with 400. Jeff Bernard with 400 here, and Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. When I came down to the Southern Cup, those were the 2 drivers I didn't think would get 400 after the first section. This shakes things up for tomorrow.
It certainly does, and it's certain.
Is that your boat or my boat?
Yours. The really bright one's yours.
Okay, no, but the noise.
Yeah, that was yours.
Okay.
Good heat. Nice heat. We'll do that draw after the please tech truck. So once I hear it, I'll come and get you.
Okay, I need to film them. Thank you.
Chevy trucks bring big-time power.
And black boat with a white cowling on it. J. Michael picked up a solid second place finish yesterday. U1 Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. Got a driver change in this one this morning. Jimmy Shane is going to climb back in the cockpit of that one. He turned a lap this morning at 160 miles an hour. Sent a message up and down the pit area. They're here to race and they're ready to go. Also in our field for Heat 2A, the U11 J&D, Chartreuse and Royal Blue. Jamie Nielsen got a solid second place finish. He brings 300 points into our second section of heats. Rounding out Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the U440 Bucket List Racing, predominantly orange. Make that Tennessee orange. Bucket List Racing, Dustin Eccles. They need points. It is questionable if they are going to make it in this heat, but they are drawn into it. We will call them 6 minutes. 6 minutes until the start of Heat 2A. Typically on a race course, Jeff Ayler, you know this, they don't let the boats come out until the 5-minute mark. But because that pit area is so far over there, they're going to let them come out now at the 6-minute mark.
At the long distance, a great gesture by H1 Unlimited. Drivers out, very straight. That's what makes it so unique. Your lane is not assigned to you when you leave the pit dock. You'll explain that. That's why when you draw these balls out to set these heats, anybody can win. Depends on what lane you're in and a good start.
Absolutely. You've got to get a good lane. You got to have clean water. You got to be at the start-finish line when a clock strikes 0, and you got to have a lot of boat speed. You better be moving when you get there. If you're a tick early and cross the start-finish line before the clock strikes 0, you win the opportunity to run an extra lap. We've got boats on a race course. Jamie Nielsen's going to bring them away from the pit area. Cities, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to the start of our Heat 2A. Coming off the top end of the race course here, Jamie Nielsen had their troubles yesterday. Most of them, we believe, were electrical related, similar to the problems they had at the Tri-City test session. They got them ironed out. The boat ran great. Jeff Haler, quick run down the front straightaway. Boat looks good.
Jamie Nielsen comes in here with 300 points. Brad, he's cutting through the infield right now. That is a legal maneuver on this race course in the race before the race. Jamie is second yesterday in 1B. Brad, all the boats have to be in a planing attitude during the milling period, 80 miles per hour. That is monitored by H1 Unlimited through Jeep.
It is Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA. Our boats are spread apart on the race course. I don't think we're going to see the bucket list racing out here. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the start, Jeff. That means the 440's got less than 2 minutes to get out here.
Every boat has to be in a planing attitude prior to the 1 minute period. If you're not in a planing attitude, then you're illegal starter. Still waiting for the bucket list to leave the dock. Brad, we're approaching 240. 3 boats up and running. Well-matched field here. Weather conditions ideal. Water conditions perfect. Day number 2 of the Southern Cup.
Let's go racing. We're going to do it. Heat 2A, presented by the TVA. Kelly, right in front of us here, comes across the start-finish line hard and then hangs it on the hook. That's what we call it. Now, keep an eye on Kelly with, what's the time? 2 minutes and 19 seconds. I don't think he can cut the course now. He could legally, but from a timing standpoint, I'm not sure that would work. You see, Jamie Nielsen just did. He cut the... Here comes Kelly. Kelly's going to come across. He's going to try and get inside Jimmy Shane, who's coming off the top end of the race course. Legal maneuver by both Jamie Nielsen and J. Michael Kelly. Now we'll see how Kelly and Nielsen want to play it going down toward the causeway. Still a minute 50 seconds until our start. They actually are a little bit early. Jamie Nielsen is a tad early. And remember, he can't go below 80 miles an hour. They'll have to go through tech inspection to find out if he really did, but he knows that. He can still make a legal start from there, but he's close. He's close. My timing marks, Jeff, you usually don't want to be at the start-finish line in 2 minutes. He was close. So Nielsen comes slowly off the lower corner down there. Kelly is in great shape, and you know Jimmy Shane behind everybody. He's in perfect shape. He can put his foot in it at any time and come up and join the other 2 boats. Now Nielsen has all of a sudden started to go. He knows he's too early. He can't cut the course down here at the lower end. He's got to go to the top end. So he put his foot in it. He's coming across the race course now. He's going to have to jump in behind. Watch him cut the course again. 1 minute. 1 minute. Now watch Nielsen go. Go, Jamie. Hang it. Here he goes. Nielsen will cut the course. He was too early. He was going to get up to the top end before he wanted to be there and to be legal behind the start-finish line. He determined that he was going to have to drop below 80 miles an hour. A third place, last place finish was better than a disqualification. He made the right choice. 35 seconds until our start. Top end of the race course, and Kelly's early up there at 30 seconds now. You gotta like where Bernard sits. See if Kelly doesn't go wide to scruff off a bunch of speed. Now, Jimmy Shane, Jamie Nielsen, top end of the race course. Kelly's going to come down here on an inside lane, but he's lacking boat speed. That's the other piece to the puzzle. Got to be on time. Got to have clean water. You got to have boat speed. Kelly doesn't have it on the inside. 7 seconds, 6. Here comes our start. We are 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing in our Heat 2A, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority. First across the line was J. Michael Kelly, but he didn't have boat speed. He got gobbled up very, very good by the other 2. Look for Jimmy Shane. Now on the outside is Jamie Nielsen, but you've got all 3 of them down there in the corner. Great sight. The start was legal. Everybody was legal. Now it's time to just accelerate off the corner. Look at Jamie Nielsen on the outside. And here comes Kelly. And here comes Shane. Yes, Jeff Haler, this is a triple-decker.
Up the backstretch, they are side by side by side. You could put a blanket across all three of them. Kelly with the lane position on the inside. Got a little bit of a lead. Look at Nielsen in the 11. Oh, they got to give him room in there, and they did. Good luck off the top end of the race course. Kelly in 1, Shane in 2, Nielsen on the outside. Coming down to put one in the books, the first of 3. It is Kelly and Jimmy Shane. Kelly by a boat length. Jeff Ayler, this is dynamite racing in our Heat 2A.
Excellent dueling into turn number 1. Kelly to the inside, shorter way around. Shane to the outside, Nielsen back. There is Kelly at the apex with Brad. Shane is hidden in the tail.
Shane is there. He's on the outside. You still got 3 boats sharing the same rooster tail. But it is J. Michael Kelly up the backstretch in that Miss Tri-Cities, the U8. Look at him rock and roll. Shane doesn't want to let him go. Gonna hang with him on the outside. They are 3/4 of the way up the backstretch now. Kelly will set it up for the top end of the race course. Nielsen begins to drop back just a little bit. This is becoming a 2-boat affair out front, and it's rapidly becoming a J. Michael Kelly affair. Kelly, lane 1 on the inside, negotiates the top end of the race course. He will come down, look to the right. He will see the green flag. He will come down and put it in the books. It is lap number 2. Here he comes, J. Michael Kelly opened up. He has opened up a full rooster tail. They've got a green flag up, but they have just changed it to a white flag. White flag, 1 lap to go, Jeff.
Each boat accepted the white flag last time around for all 3 participants. Brad Dynamite dueling after 1 lap, but Kelly gained superiority in that turn the last time around. I think Shane will let him go, settle for those 300 points.
300 points are big, and yes, I think he will now. I think he thinks the shouting is over in this one. Jimmy Shane on the outside. He's tipping his head in there going, all right, if I'm going to run with this JMK guy, I may have to be on the inside of him, because Kelly has been dominant here in Heat 2A, presented by the TVA. Top end of the race course. Here comes Kelly. All he's got to do is negotiate the exit pin, slides out to about lane 2, and it'll be J. Michael Kelly. He will come down, look to the right, see the checkered flag, and 400 points to Daryl and Vanessa Strong's U8, the Miss Tri-Cities, J. Michael Kelly. Jimmy Shane will come home in 2nd place driving. The Goodman Real Estate presents the home street. And Jeff, from my way of thinking, maybe the surprise in that heat is right here with Jamie Nielsen. They ran well.
Jamie Nielsen done a wonderful job. He was just a little bit off on his timing marks, but I think the speed is on the upswing for the number 11 J&Ds. But race fans, how'd you like that after 1 lap? We had a triple-decker on the back chute and on the front chute.
Yes, we did, and you got the Ayler growl one more time. Got to mix that in.
There's not another speed.
Don't make a mistake. Make a good start, drive clean, put it back on the trailer, get the points you can get, and look to the 3rd section. These 2 boats right now, with only 2 in here, the start and the finish, depending on the 3rd run, they look good to make the front row of the final.
They really do. Yeah, the worst you can do if you're finished and you're legal is 300 points. They'll take them. So our boats are exactly across the course from each other. And here comes Corey Peabody. He's going to cut the race course and come back to front. We've seen this a couple of times. Looking at the watch, 2:30 until the start. Andrew Tate is already down toward the bottom end of the race course. Watch Corey here. Let's see if Corey doesn't, what do you think, Jeff? Maybe he'll jump across. He could make it. If he wanted to hang it on the hook, he could have and jumped in front of Andrew. He decided not to. He will go all the way down. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate comes off the lower end of the race course, slowly coming up the backstretch. Quick note here, Hydrocross autograph session. They're going to be there in just a moment. Go on over there. They will be there momentarily. Hydrocross jet ski autograph session happening in the next couple of minutes. $1.50 till our start. Now it'll get a little bit more interesting up at the top end of the race course, Jeff Ayler. We got our two boats together. Andrew can look out the right side there and say hello to his buddy Corey.
Right now, Brad, Andrew Tate in 1, Corey Peabody in 2. You have to have your lane established prior to the entrance pin at turn number 2. The next time around, you have to be in a planing attitude at the 1 minute period to be an eligible starter. Both boats appear to be in fine fashion to accomplish that. We're 120 away. Name of the game in this one, don't make a mistake. Leave your racing partner some room. Finish, put it on the trailer.
Yeah, and I think the way they're coming down the front straightaway here is the way they're going to race, because Corey really can't go anywhere right now. Not if he's staying right alongside Andrew. Now Andrew gooses it a little bit and jumps out in front of him. We're at the 1 minute mark, so these guys are going to run pretty quick up the backstretch. They've got to kill a minute. They will go all the way around the race course.
Wait, James.
You see Corey on the outside. Yeah, these guys are running pretty hard through the bottom end of the race course because they got 45 seconds until the start. They cannot cut the race course from the back to the front now. Before they come down to the start, they have to go around all the buoys at the top end of the race course. Okay, they've made up their time. They have now been able to pull their foot a little bit. Just now, inside 30 seconds until the start, going to be Andrew Tate in lane number 1, Corey Peabody in lane 2. 20 seconds till the start. You heard Jeff Ayler say it. He couldn't have been more correct. Run this one clean, guys. There's a lot of points on the table. Just pick some of them up, put your boat on the trailer, all in one piece. Inside 10 seconds, inside 5. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. And we are racing in Heat 2B, presented by the Tennessee Valley Authority. The start is good. The start is good. Now down to the lower end of the race course. This will be interesting. Corey had so much speed yesterday. Is he going to be able to drive around Andrew Tate? As Andrew Tate found the beans into 12. Well, so far he has. Tater comes off the corner. You can't see Corey. He's right there with him. He's about a boat length and a half back. Good racing up the backstretch. Boy, it looks like one boat, Jeff. It's 2.
They work into turn number 2. Andrew Tate on the inside, but Peabody is there hidden, Brad. Tate will get there first. Hangs it on the hook. Peabody, where is he? Brad, when they come to you, you should see both boats off the turn.
All right, look for Corey Peabody. Where is he? There he is, right on the hip of Andrew Tate. Great call, and he went inside. He hooked inside of Andrew. He's still running, but he jumped to the inside. That cost him a carload of real estate. And then clearly there is damage on the air scoop above the cockpit of Corey Peabody's boat. I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, the boat just moved hard to the left. He got into the rooster tail of Andrew Tate, and that's going to be the story here of our Heat 2B. But, Jeff, back to what you talked about. He's still running. He's still running. Everything is good. Now, just run clean, pick up some points.
As we mentioned in the warm-up period, don't make a mistake. You just saw it happen off turn number 2, working the first lap. And Brad Peabody limping on the back chute. He has 1 1/2 laps to go to score 300 points, but right now, it's all Andrew Tate in front.
Yeah, this has got to be a real good uplift here for the U12 and a Graham Trucking. The white flag is going to go up. It is going to go up for Andrew Tate. He was driving the daylights out of that 12. Unfortunately, the last time down, Corey got caught in his rooster tail. That was going to be a strong run down the front straightaway on our lap number 1. But now it's the white flag, lap 1 to go for Andrew Tate, and he can pick up 400 big points. When Corey comes by, look above the canopy, look above the cockpit. You'll see that air scoop is not correct. He's got definite damage up there. And only because I was in the pit area on Friday night, I know for a fact that there is another air scoop for the 9. It is white. It's what they've used before. They will work on that boat and get it ready. Obviously, the boat is running fine. He's just taking it easy, and to Jeff's point, picking up the second place at 300 points. Andrew Tate, meanwhile, working through the top end of the race course all by himself. The bright red Graham Trucking, so much work done on that boat over the last 2 years, starting to pay off, and it's going to pay off with a checkered flag here in Heat 2B, presented by the TVA. Andrew Tate picks up his first heat win for Rob Graham, Tom Anderson, and the race team of the Graham Trucking. It's Andrew Tate. The story of yesterday was all Corey Peabody, and I'm not sure the story of today wasn't going to start the same way. He was going to make a charge, Jeff. He was coming.
Corey Peabody with that mistake, but Brad, he will limp across the start-finish line buoy to get these 300 points in second. And Pinnacle Peak Consulting, Heat 2B, brought to you by the Tennessee Valley Authority, and that was close to being an absolute disaster. He got in that tail. How did that 28-foot, 6,700-pound unlimited hydroplane stay right side up? Corey Peabody's a lucky man.
Corey Peabody is a lucky man. His canard wing is a little bit different than everybody else's. He's actually got a two-piece canard up there, and he's been learning how to handle it. Well, he just learned how to handle it in a very difficult situation. But again, the good news is Corey Peabody finished. He's got damage on the boat. They do have, as I said, another air scoop that they can put on there. They'll just check it and see if there is any other damage to the motor, but the boat seemed to be running fine after the fact. So want to remind everybody again of our Hydrocross Jet Ski Autograph Session going on right behind us here at start and finish. I'm going to step out here for a moment and see if we've got people back there. We do. They are there. We've got fans there. They've got room. Hydrocross drivers, they are there. Fans, go have a conversation and talk to them about what it's like to drive a jet ski the way those guys do, how many years they've been doing it. They would love to talk to you. Hydrocross Jet Ski Autograph Session going on right now. So, next up on our schedule.
I dream of you.
Let's hope they can get it out and make a run. Meanwhile, check the clock. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Jamie Nielsen cut the race course, got himself on the backstretch in front of Jeff Bernard. So we're just having a real slow roll here at 2:30 for the start. Nothing fancy right yet. Jeff's been pretty quiet, but then we've only got two boats there.
Situation as in 2B, everybody needs to be well behaved right now. Drive your race, drive a clean race. This is the final preliminary section of the weekend. Get those points, get ready for the Southern Cup final. You do not need to make a mistake here, as we saw back in 2B with Corey Peabody. Brad Luce, we're approaching the 2-minute period. 2 minutes away.
2 minutes to the start of our Heat 3A, presented by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. It's the 2021 Lake Guntersville Hydrofest, the race for the Southern Cup. Coming up on 1:45 until our start, 1:45 to the start. So watch for Jamie to go all the way down to the lower end of the race course. Watch for Jeff to go down there behind him. I like where Jamie sits this time a whole lot better than I did last time, although he's still a little bit early, I think, Jeff. My timing mark on this race course, and it's totally unofficial. I always say you don't want to be at that entrance pin at $1.30, and he was down there about 120, 121. So we got 113 this time. If Jamie can hold it above 80 miles an hour, he was very close in that previous heat. They really had to look at the data, but he was legal, so I think he'll be okay this time. But if he wants it, I think he can secure lane one. Jeff, will he do it with that boat? He hasn't spent much time in it.
I think it's an ideal situation right now, Brad. The 1 minute period is come and gone. Vilwalk again. An unfortunate did not start. We're down to two. Jamie Nielsen And Jeff Bernard, 45 seconds away. Mr. Loose, bring him to the green flag.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ayler. Now keep an eye on that black and gold boat. Now you see the pedals start to go down. Look for Jeff to really try and run this thing hard to the start-finish line. Look at the speed with the 1 versus the speed at the 11. We've still got a lot of real estate to cover, and we've still got 25 seconds. It's only about a 12-second run off that exit pin down to the start-finish line. My watch says 16. So they may have to hold it back a little bit, and you see the drivers having to pull back a little bit. When are they going to put their foot in it? We're inside 10, coming up on 8. Now they start to accelerate to the line. We are 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Mark! And we are racing in Heat 3A, presented by Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. It's a good start. They were close. Those were probably the 2 best starts of the weekend. On the outside is Bernard, inside Nielsen. Nielsen stows his nose first. Where is Jeff? There he is on the outside, the home street. Goodman Real Estate presents the Miss Home Street. But look at Jamie Nielsen run right with him. Nielsen on the inside, Bernard on the outside. Good deck-to-deck boat racing up the backstretch. Now, the rules say that Jeff Bernard cannot move to the left and take lane 1 unless he has 7 boat lengths on Jamie Nielsen. Clearly, he doesn't have it. Nielsen's right there a boat length back, so Jeff Bernard's got to get him 30 feet of lane space. He does, driving him clean, as we like to say. Now it's acceleration off the corner, trying to come down to put the first of 3 laps in the book. Jeff Bernard on the outside. Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street, but he's only got about 3 boat lengths. Really good racing, Jeff. He's got about 3 boat lengths up.
Picture perfect dueling as they go into turn number 1, working the second time here in the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce Unlimited 3A. Bernard is there, but Brad Nielsen shorter way around. Will he tighten it up?
Boy, Nielsen is just not going to go away. He's in that left side rear view. Oh, he picked up the right sponson. He really flew it. He, Jamie Nielsen, but he settled it back down. He is trying to run down Jeff Bernard. We were talking to Jimmy Shane over here about 10 minutes ago, and he said, the boat's a rocket. When he's talking about the boat, he's talking about the home street, which means Jamie Nielsen's got a rocket by the tail as well. Top end of the race course. Not much has changed here. It's about 2 boat lengths. Bernard drives him clean, gives him plenty of room. Off the corner, they will come down. They'll find a white flag. There's 1 to go. Jeff Bernard. This looks like the last lap, Jeff.
2 complete, 1 to go in Unlimited 3A, brought to you by the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. Bernard in front as they work into turn number 1, but Brad Nielsen's there. Will he close?
He's going to have to use that inside lane to his advantage and tighten. Look at, there he is again. Nielsen is just not going to go away. He's back about 4 boat lengths as they get to the exit pin of turn 1. This is the 3rd of 3 times around the course. Jamie Nielsen hanging right with the Miss Home Street. Great racing here. We only had 2 boats in the heat, but let me tell you, they're putting on a great show as these guys are approaching probably 175, 185 miles an hour, right about there at the top end of the chute. Nielsen closes it up a little bit. Nielsen right there. He's back by a boat length or 2. Off the corner, got to be Nielsen and Bernard. Jamie's got some extra beans this time. This is going to be close. I think it's going to be Bernard. It is going to be Jeff Bernard by about a boat length and a half. Holy smoke. Jamie Nielsen really showed us something there. Jamie closed to that last corner.
Boy, the U11 J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen, you see cutting into the infield. Let's hope there's not a problem with the 11. But fans at Lake Guntersville, how'd you like that deck-to-deck dueling?
I think they like it, Jeff. That's good stuff. I know I did.
Me too.
That is, and Jamie has dropped down. Jamie has dropped down right after they crossed start-finish line. He immediately hung it on the hook, turned it left to try and get it back quickly to the pit area. Again, let's hope it's not something troublesome. Well, Scott Rainey just went by us and said, we're okay. We're okay. He's the boat owner of the Chartreuse and Royal Blue, and we see the lid is up, so Jamie's okay. And Scott said everything's good.
And Brad, we'll look at the points. The U1 Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street. We'll transfer to the front row of the final. We'll tabulate the 11. the J&Ds with Jamie Nielsen. They might just sneak in as that fifth.
It's the dog park. The old cone of shame, right?